Hey everyone, welcome back to your favorite channel 150 and more, where we are trying out new creative decks from Obsidian Flames. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so that you don't miss out on the fun. The deck we're going to take a look at today is Glimmora EX, which I'm having immense fun with on the ladder. This deck is super annoying to deal with because of Glimmora EX's ability Dust Field and copies of Path to the Peak, which completely shut down your opponent's Pokemon. Charizard and Chien-Pao, both being so common on the ladder right now, have a really tough time dealing with this deck, which makes it so toxic, but so much fun to play. This deck has been borrowed from Little Dark Fury, link in the description below, but we've given it a little twist of ours by adding the regular Glimmora with its ability Shattering Crystal, which denies your opponent from taking prize cards. Now you might ask, why play Path to the Peak when Glimmora EX has an ability Dust Field? Well, the answer is two Pokemon. One, Lunatone, which allows you to neglect the effect of any stadiums in play as long as you have Solrock in play. So we are going to include both of those in our deck. So taking a closer look at this deck, here is the star of our show, Glimmora EX, whose ability Dust Field prevents your opponent from having more than 3 benched Pokemon, which is super useful when they have a lot of pieces that they need to get onto the bench in order to set up. Along with that, what makes this deck truly annoying is Glimmora, which if your opponent knocks out, they have to flip a coin for to get any prize cards for it, which is just hilarious. This is the Glimmora which we include one copy of. We have a 2-2 line of Bidoof and Bibarel as our primary draw engine, and one copy of the Radiant Sneasler, whose ability allows you to put 2 more damage counters on your opponent's poison Pokemon, which can sometimes lead to converting a win from a loss, where you just need that 20 more damage to knock out your opponent's active Pokemon, rather than them getting an extra turn and in turn knocking you out. So I found Hisuian Sneasler to be useful in some cases, but not always, so do the math and then calculate like if you really need it on your bench or whether you just have to attack with Glimmora twice anyway. Along with that, we play 4 copies of Iono and 4 copies of Judge, which disrupt your opponent's hand even further, and Path to the Peak, which completely shuts down any Pokemon with abilities. To round off, we have 10 energy, 2 Rock Chestplates, which is also a great item. It's a tool card, which effectively adds 30 more HP to your Glimmora. And like I mentioned, we have Lunatone, Solrock in the deck, and also a couple of Glimmets. So without further ado, let's hop into some games and see how this deck performs. Jumping into our first game with Glimmora. This is gonna be fun. It's just so satisfying to put down the Path to Peak and seeing Charizard or Chien-Pao decks, which my ladder is full of, by the way, right now. Just see them end their turn after turn after turn without being able to do anything. Path to the Peak is such a great card in this deck. So I am choosing to go first here, but it doesn't matter if you go first or second, because if you don't draw good cards off of your first draw, then because you are playing so many supporters, 4 Judge and 4 Iono, even if you go second, it's pretty nice. And also, if you do go second, then you can Ascension on your first turn into a Glimmora EX directly, which is good. So I'm gonna heavy ball here. Let's see what we have in our prized cards. We have Lunatone. We have 1 Glimmora, not the EX kind, the normal one. We have a Judge, so nothing that's too important. This is not, it could have been much worse. So let me get the Lunatone. I could get the Bidoof right now, which I think is the way to go. I'm gonna do something which might seem a little odd. I'm gonna get rid of 1 Iono. I'm gonna get a Bidoof, but that's just because we have a Bibarel in hand, and it's very unlikely that they're gonna play Iono on their first turn. Seeing that it's Chien-Pao, it's probably going to be Irida or something around that sort. If they're playing Palkia, it could be Melanie. But yeah, I really don't think it's gonna be Irida. It probably is going to be Irida. So attach the Rock Chestplate end turn, and seeing that I just have 1 card in hand might make them not Iono me. I mean, I wouldn't Iono someone if they just had 1 card in their hand. So they're going for Shivery Chill. And let's see, do they have, what are we going up against? See, there, I told you, it has to be Irida. So predictable, so very predictable. The fun thing about TCGLive is that you can test so many decks because it's so easy to get the cards, which I really like about this game. It is a little buggy. I don't really like that aspect, but well, who does? Let's see if we can go for a boss play, KO their Frigibax on the first turn. I see. They got 2 rare candies, which is good for them, not so good for us. Let's hope we get a Glimmora EX off of our Bibarel draw. Perfect. Path to the peak. Just what I like to see. Let's go for Industrious Incisors. And we get an energy. We also get a boss, which is good. I'm thinking whether I should Pokestop and hope that I get an Ultra Ball. But I don't know if that is the best idea. Probably it isn't. Let's see. It's very tempting to Pokestop, so I'm sorry. Even though I know that this is not the optimal play, I just have to Pokestop. There goes our Glimmora EX. Of course it does. I am going to boss the Frigibax though, because I don't want the Chien-Pao attacking me this turn. I'm gonna play Path to Peak. And then just Rock Throw for 20 damage. Okay, so there's their Baxcalibur. We're going down this turn, but that's not the worst case. If only this were the Ascension Glimmet, which is why we love playing those. Okay, bye bye Glimmet. Sorry that had to be that way. Okay. So now we can Super Rod first, because we have Glimmet, Glimmora, and let's get back in energy. Let's Industrious Incisors for a Glimmet. Let's get this Glimmet down. Let's I don't know if I want to get under the Glimmet down, and the reason is, well, it would have been nice to get an energy this turn, but okay, let's just do that. I'm really worried about Greninja KOing me. But I think if they don't have the Greninja in hand, it's going to be okay. Just hope I draw 1 energy off of my Bibarel, which is very likely. I did not check how many energy we had, which is something I should have probably done. They play down 1 Frigibax. Nothing there. Okay. I'm pretty sure we're going to get an energy of either the Iono or the Bibarel. And this is great. We just get it from here. Now the question is, should I Iono or Judge them? And I think the answer is no, because judging by their last turn, I don't think they have anything in hand that's of particular value. So I'm just gonna Ascension, get the Glimmora EX onto the board, and wait for next turn. Let's see what happens. Again, nothing, see? Which makes me think I don't even want to Judge them now. Should I? Maybe I should. I don't know. Let's first Industrious Incisors, because yeah, I really don't think we should Judge them, because we're attaching energy and putting Pokemon on our bench each turn, right? Maybe we do Judge them, I think. Yeah, let's Judge them, because we do want to get a Solrock in play. We have another Glimmora that we get, and let's Poisonous Gem for 140 damage, and they're poisoned now, so they're going to go down next turn unless they can attack and get a KO, which I think is very unlikely. It's hard to get 5 energy. Let's see how many they have in their discard pile. Okay, so if they get a superior energy retrieval, it might be possible, and they would need another energy in hand. Yeah, there we are. We see 300 damage, so we're definitely going down. And let's see what they draw into. They draw 2 cards. Good for them. Poison's racking up, which is always nice. Perfect. We play down another Path to the Peak. We'll attach energy. We can Industrious Incisors. And we get the Iono, which is good. So we'll give them 3 cards instead of 2. But that also allows us to see more cards, which is always good. Beautiful. We get a Radiant Sneasler and a Solrock. That's perfect. And as long as we don't go down this turn, we're going to KO their Baxcalibur with the boss next turn. And Chien-Pao is also going to go down this turn for sure because of the Sneasler. It adds 20 poison damage along with the regular 10. So Chien-Pao is going to go down. We can always boss up the Baxcalibur, which is good. They have an Irida, which is kind of unfortunate. So if they're playing another copy of Lost Vacuum, it's not great for us. But we have a Path to Peak in hand. We just hope that they don't KO us, and then that, I think, gets us into a good position. Then I'm pretty confident about winning. They get their Greninja now, which I think they're going to put down next turn, but we have another Path to Peak in hand. So a little too late for Greninja, I think. Okay, they Escape Roped, which makes me want to play the Solrock. Let's see, what do I play? I could go with Solrock, yeah. Good play on their part. Escape Rope is definitely a useful card here in these situations. They get Greninja on their bench, and they're probably gonna get rid of the Chien-Pao, which I'm a little worried about. So we can boss the Chien-Pao up and then retreat. Maybe I just attach an end turn. And the reason is I don't want to I don't want them to get rid of the Chien-Pao that's already taken a lot of damage. So let's just Industrious Incisors. Draw 1 card, energy, which is good for next turn. So we can first boss up the Chien-Pao that's taken damage. And I'm just gonna end turn. Ooh, you know what I could do? I could boss their Chien-Pao and KO it with the Solrock. That's probably what I'll do. Because I don't want to give them 2 prizes. I want to keep my Glimmora secure. And you know, if it goes down with the Greninja, it goes down with the Greninja. Huh. What are they going to grab? Oh, they're going to do the Palkia play. I see. Okay. So unless they have a Palkia V-Star in hand, I think it's okay. Boss brings up their Chien-Pao. And now I can retreat or I can attack with Glimmora. Let's see, what do I want to do? Yeah, let's do this. Spinning attack for 50. Boom. Solrock takes down the mighty Chien-Pao. And this is our first 2 prize cards, but I'm not too worried because Iono is also a great card that plays well for us. Yeah, like the Palkia, unless they had the Palkia V-Star in hand, which is why they put that down. I should have known, but that's okay. They can put 3 energy maybe onto Greninja. We also do have the energy, which is nice. So probably here I just retreat, go into Glimmora and start racking up poison damage. And they could attack with the Radiant Greninja, right? But that only gives them 2 prizes, and then if they choose to use their energy on the... If they choose to use their energy on Greninja, I don't think that's a good play. It's better to put it onto the Palkia, which can keep attacking. But if they attack, that also means that they can't get out of the active spot. So let's see. So that gives me an additional 60 poison damage at the end of my turn when I attack with Solrock. And 50 more. So the Solrock can take the KO onto the Palkia. And yeah, they can't use their Vs. I forgot about Path to Peak. Keep forgetting how good a card it is. Alright, Poisonous Gem. Once again. Bye bye Palkia. So we were 3 cards behind the prizes, and now we're ahead. So this just shows you how powerful and nice this deck is to play. Chien-Pao, but with the Path to Peak and 2 in our hand, unless they Iono us and then they have the Path Pump, it's gonna be hard. Yep, another Palkia V, but I don't think there's anything much that they can do. This deck is totally toxic. It's great. I love how this deck plays. So Heavy Ball, I'm just gonna discard this. That just gets closer to drawing cards with Bibarel if we ever need them. Maybe I do put a Glimmet on my bench. Let's go ahead and do that, just in case. And I can again go for Poisonous Gem. Nothing much to be done. Just keep poisoning and keep KOing their Pokemon. And Chien-Pao is probably the last. If they can't retreat it this turn, they're dead. Okay, they need the Path Pump. So that's a play that they could possibly do. And there it is, just like that. A concession, just what we wanted to see. Beautiful game. Glimmora EX for the win. Spreading damage all around. Completely shutting down Chien-Pao with Path to the Peak. And hey, we climbed 1 rank on the ladder. So let's hop into the next game. So we start off with a Lunatone on our bench. Capturing Aroma. That doesn't look like a Charizard deck, but I could be wrong. So they're getting a Bibarel for next turn. So hopefully we can use Judge and disrupt them. This looks like Arctina with the Bidoof and Skwovet. But okay, it's Charizard. If it's Charizard, that's good because, hey, we have Path to Peak in our hand. All that needs to be taken care of while dealing with Charizard is that you can't allow Charizard to set up. So that means sometimes going for a 1 prize KO on a Charmander or Charmeleon instead of, let's say, an Arceus, which is pretty common in Charizard decks. Because once Charizard sets up, it's really hard for Glimmora to KO it, especially because you need to take 2 turns in order to KO a Charizard because of its ridiculous HP. So we'll attach the Rock Chestplate to this Glimmora. We'll put down an energy. We could play down a Path to Peak, see what we get on the next turn. We should either hit an energy or a Judge or Iono. That's what I'm hoping for. It's always nice to have Bidoof at the start because that immediately allows you to get draw support, because it's easy to get Bibarel off either a Judge or Iono or just Ultra Ball for it. So I really prefer that. But if not, hey, it's fine. Okay, they Iono us, which is great. We didn't have that great of a hand anyway. And we got the Bidoof. What we need now is just 1 more energy, but I'm pretty sure we'll get that off of our Iono. Maybe we should have used that switch. That's something I didn't think of. They're thinking, which is always good. That means you're gonna get a game. You have an opponent who's thinking about what they're gonna play. Ooh, the Charmeleon scares me. Really does. It just requires them to have a Charizard in hand and they're good. They're already setting up with Magma Basin, which makes me feel they don't have a Charizard in hand. But could be wrong. Have been wrong multiple times before. There they Nestash. And ooh, they're playing the Victini. This is a cool card. Here comes their Charmander. And that just does nothing. Perfect. So let's put down the Bidoof. Let's play heavy ball. Take a look at our prize cards. Okay, so 3 energies, 2 Battle VIP Pass. Not the best, could be worse. 1 Judge. So one thing to note is we have 3 energies, so there's a 50% chance of drawing an energy. So I wouldn't be too worried about energies. Let's Nest Ball for another Glimmet. Let's play the Lunatone down. No, so we already have a Lunatone. I thought it was Solrock. Let's attach a Rock Chestplate there, and just Iono for a few more cards. And perfect. We get the Glimmora EX, so we can take a knockout on this Charmander right away. So I'm going to evolve into Glimmora. And I'll Ultra Ball next turn for the Bibarel. Right now I just Poison Petals. And bye-bye Charmander. Now, since we've played down the path to Peak, even if they do get a Charizard, they're not guaranteed to get an energy unless they have a path pump. So yeah, I guess either they don't have a Charizard or they don't have a stadium card, which is why they play the Victini. They do have a stadium. Interesting. So the stadium can get a Solrock for next turn. Do I want the Solrock or do I want the Radiant Sneasler? Victini has 1 retreat cost, so maybe the Sneasler is not such a great idea because they can just retreat into whatever they get off of this. And there's the Charizard. That's super scary. They KO the Glimmora, which isn't the worst. We're hoping for a heads here. They can't boss us, so they have to attack with Victini EX. And let's see, do they flip heads? And it's a tails, okay. But that was worth a shot. We will now get rid of... We will first use the Artisan to get us a Glimmet. We could attach an energy here, use the Ultra Ball, get rid of the VIP and the Iono, grab ourselves a Bibarel, and draw with Industrious Incisors first. There it is. There's our Glimmora EX. So we put the Glimmora EX down. Let's see what they get rid of. I want to use Judge, not Iono, because otherwise it's just too many supporters going to the bottom of the deck. And we did get a boss. Boss is good. Boss is good here. We could Escape Rope, or we could just pass, force them to retreat. That doesn't achieve much. We could get the Sneasler in play. Let's see, what do I want to do? Maybe I do Escape Rope and just give them the Lunatone to KO. That's probably the best idea. And then I just end turn. So hopefully we'll draw into a path next turn. I don't want them setting up another Charizard. One Charizard I can deal with. Two is almost impossible. Okay, Nest Dash. I like the inclusion of Scovit in a Charizard deck, just because it allows you to see so many more cards. And they get the Super Rod, so they're probably going to put Charmanders back. Yeah, there. I guess they put like one Charmander back into the deck. And they're gonna Artisan, get themselves another Charmander. Oh, Hanafi. That's weird. What did they think I was gonna attack them with? Huh, that's inexplicable. Like, why they got a Manaphy there. I was thinking it would be a Charmander to set up another Charizard, but hey, if they don't want to set up the Charizard, it's good for us. Gets closer to the win. Man, I can't explain what my opponent is doing at all. Like, why the Bibarel? I just don't get it. They attached an energy to the Bibarel. Okay. For 20 damage. How did that happen? Oh, it's weak to dark. Okay, okay. That makes sense. That's fine. So, I could put the Solrock down on the bench. I won't Artisan just yet. I would rather Industrious Incisors first. See what we have. Unfortunately, no energies off of this, which is super, super sad. I could use a Super Rod. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna Super Rod and put back 2 energies in the deck, just so that increases the odds of us seeing an energy. And maybe I grab myself Lunatone with the Artisan. I will Iono now. Okay, come on. We just need 1 energy. It's not much. Okay, and there we go. We get an energy. We also get a path to Peak, which is super nice. Energy attached. And we Poisonous Gem. So now this is where Sneasler is very important in Charizard matchups, because you attack for 140 and the Sneasler gets you 20 more damage. So it effectively gives you 170 at the end of 1 turn. And so in 2 turns you can knock Charizard out, which without the poison would only amount to 310 damage at the end of 2 turns. So in Charizard matchups, Hisuian Sneasler is particularly important. Something to remember. Okay, so they Magma Basin. They've already attached so many energies to Pokemon which don't really need that much energy. Like I said, I'm completely confused with why they attached energy to the Bibarel. Okay. They Nest Dash, but you know, their bench isn't free, so even if they do draw a Charmander, I'm not particularly worried about it. I wonder what they might be looking for. It's not completely obvious. Let me know in the comments down below if you know what you think the optimal play for my opponent is here. They're retrieving the Charizard, which is the correct play. And I'm really hoping to get a boss here, so I can boss up the Charizard and KO it. That will get them 190 damage, and I think they can't use this attack next turn. So let's attach an energy to our Glimmora. Let's Industrious Incisors, and we have it. We have the boss, which is perfect. That's just what I wanted to see. And let's take the knockout. Poisonous Gem. There you go. Them not setting up another Charmander, I think, was what might cost them this game. If we win, that is. And now I might get a knockout on this Victini. Here I'm going to attach an energy to this Glimmora on my bench and then use Switch, because I don't want my Glimmora to go down. They do have a Charmander. Not great. But once we take out the Victini, we can take out the Charizard. We don't need to take out the Charizard. We can take out any one prizer Pokemon. Okay. I thought they couldn't attack this turn. I don't know why that was possible for them in that scenario. So here I definitely Judge. Let's see what I draw into. I draw into another Boss's Order, which is great for next turn. That is given if they don't get the Charizard on board right now, then it's super useful for us next turn. Let's just Industrious Incisors. 2 more cards. We have all 3 of our supporters to choose from. And now we Poisonous Gem for 170 damage, and they will faint at the end of their next turn unless they switch out. And if they switch out, we just take a KO on the Charmander and then hope for the best. We can start attaching energy to our Solrock and then get a KO on their last one prizer using Solrock. Skwovet is weak to fighting, so is Bibarel. So Nestash, Industrious Incisors. They're definitely looking for the Charizard there. That's for sure. So Charizard can hit us for 180 plus 30 times 3, which would effectively knock out our Glimmora. So if they get a Charizard, game over. And they do get a Charizard. Oh my god. Okay. Maybe they're out of energy. Who knows? Okay, they're not out of energy. They're gonna win this game. But let's give them the win. Let's 270 exactly. So if we had that extra Rock Chestplate there, we could have won this game. But wasn't meant to be. But that just goes to show you the power of this deck, right? Even though we lost, we basically took them down to the very end. It's just Charizard and Chien-Pao these days. I wish we played against like a Mew VMAX or something fun, you know? Like even Lost Box. Glimmora is great, especially against Lostina, not the Turbo Lost Box. Turbo Lost Box is a little hard because you're just getting 1 prizes each turn. And so poisoning doesn't really help in that case. We have a great hand. We have a Battle VIP in hand. And we have a Mew VMAX deck. Yes. So this is great. It's going to be great playing against Mew VMAX. I've never faced Mew VMAX using this deck. So it's going to be fun. My thinking is we try to go after the Mew VMAX because we can KO that in 2 turns with the 2 turns of poisoning in between. I'm thinking if we need the Radiant Sneasler. And the answer is probably not, because to KO a Genesect, we would still need to attack it twice. Radiant Sneasler only gives us... Actually, that's not true. 140 and then 30 plus 30 gets us to 200. So maybe, yes, maybe Radiant Hisuian Sneasler is very important. Path to the Peak will really come in handy over here. There's the Mew. We're going up against the Oricorio version, where all the Fusion Strike Pokemon take 20 less damage. Okay, we have the Escape Rope, which is good. So let's get ourselves a Bidoof to start with. A Bidoof, and I want a... I could wait for the Lunatone since we don't have a path in hand anyway. So I could just do the Bidoof and the Glimmet. I'm thinking whether they can take a knockout on us this turn, which they probably can, but not too sure. We can get the Solrock on bench. And my thinking is we just use the Ascension, go it into our Glimmora EX, and force them to reduce their bench to 3. It would be interesting to see if this is the Mew VMAX deck where you play the path, in which case Lunatone would be necessary for us. We don't want them benching too many Genesects for infinite draw basically. Ooh, Old Cemetery. That's a cool stadium. But we're hoping we can get a path to the peak. Okay. So nothing too great off of those cards. I'm thinking if we want to take a KO with Glimmora. And you know what? Maybe that's what I will do until I find a little bit of draw support. Or maybe not. Maybe we just take a KO on the Meloetta. Yeah. Meloetta is dangerous if it gets to set up, so I don't want that to happen. 20 damage, that's okay. Let's just poison his gem. I'm waiting to evolve this Glimmet because I don't know, we might get Iono and it might be more necessary to get a Glimmora EX rather than a Glimmora in play. Radiant Sneasler, that's the card we wanted, so it's lucky we hit that. Although I could use some kind of supporter card here. So they're gonna attack us. Okay, thankfully Genesect is not resistant to fighting attacks, which is good. So if we boss them, that's nice. So we could Escape Rope, bring up a Genesect, and then use a Switch, and then attack the Genesect for 140 damage plus 30, and then 20 in their next turn. Oof. How many power tablets do they have? That is the question. Luckily, they don't have a Mew VMAX, which is good to see. And they concede. I guess they just didn't have good setup. And with the Dust Field ability, that just shines against this Mew VMAX. That's my thinking here. So good. We got a win against the current world champion, or the world champions. So that's it for our games today. I really hope everyone had a lot of fun, and this deck is just so fun to play with, right? Like, you can be super annoying, you can keep poisoning your Pokemon, you can keep disrupting their hand, and that's just it's just a very versatile deck, and I think it's great against like the current meta, which is chock full of Charizard and Chien-Pao. So Path is just a great card in general. So if you did like this video, be sure to try this deck out. Be sure to tell me what you think could be improved, what could be better, what cards you want to reduce, what cards you want to add. And make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you again next week on another episode of 150 and more. Till then, take care.